Well, it's my due date and he's still in there.
So Saturday, it was Saturday when we thought she was going into labor because she was getting multiple contractions within like an hour period. So based off of our first experience with Knox, that just immediately triggered us into thinking like, okay, all right, this is it. But next thing you know, we're like, all right, let's go to sleep and let's try to like, you know, get us rest as much as possible, mostly for her as well. I mean, for both of us, right? But then next thing you know, we wake up and we're like, okay. And she was just saying how like as the night progressed, they just kind of went away. And she was very heartbroken because she was just at a point where she wasn't getting any sleep, which made it really hard for her. Even Sunday, you know, she was like kind of anticipating or waiting for something to happen and nothing. And it just felt like it like regressed. So then Monday morning, she was just like devastated. She was starting to feel like Banner wanted to come out and she just couldn't come out. So she was starting to get a lot of guilt, but all of it stemmed from her just not being able to get a good sleep.
So for her, she was already doing such a good job of staying active. She was working and then also delegating for her business, which was great to see. She was taking baths for relaxation. So she was doing a lot of those self-care pieces. So a lot of that discussion came before I even got out here. And then just really sensing her energy and helping her make choices based on whether it's like information that the midwives gave or certain things she was feeling, and making sure that she had the blend of movement and sort of a distraction while also rest and special time with Knox and Julian.
Oh, no.
You got him.
And just relax and chill. So like I said, we did body work each day, but I think like Epsom salt soaks at night were great for her to just unwind. Daily walks, and obviously, you know, there's always the like, oh, walk the baby out, but really truly getting outside can just be a total refresher, even if you going for a drive and get out and walk somewhere else, whatever. So I think the daily walks and fresh air, as well as the movement practices, were good for her. The end of pregnancy can get so long, especially there's so many ideas around, well, it's a second or third or fourth baby, so it'll come faster, which is definitely not always the case. And so mentally it gets really challenging, and there's this like time of build up, build up, build up, build up, and then there can be a plateau of feeling like you're just waiting forever. And right now, when most birthing people would be doing things to keep their minds busy, we don't have access to that. So I think for Miranda, the movement has been really good. Small community coming, you know, just related to work, and then the ability to have body work done every day has been really good. But I think what's great, and I think when, you know, we look at it, this happened on purpose with them shifting where Banner would be born as well, because they have so much more access to the birth that they really truly desire. And I know in hospitals across the country, things are a little crazy and only one support person and masks and whatnot. So it's good that they have access to just birth the way that they want to and have chosen that for themselves.
You know, there's so much that happens throughout the day in our day-to-day life. So she's been maintaining activity, which has been really good for her. That is her natural and what allows her to relax, which is walking, doing a shift version of the SB workout, because she knew that even when Knox was here, she was listening to what they were saying and not working out as much, but then that was causing her more stress. So then when she got to a point where she's like, I'm just gonna do what I feel most comfortable doing, she had a workout, and then Knox came the next morning. So she now knows what it takes for her to be at peace and be okay with that. But yeah, every night you kind of wonder like, okay, are we gonna wake up randomly? But then I feel like sometimes we forget that it could happen at any time throughout the day, but we're so used to it because our only experience has been a nighttime experience where it was like 2, 3 in the morning where she was having her first contractions for Knox.
And then Tuesday morning, when I walked into the house, it was a whole different energy. She looked rested and Julian looked refreshed, and I just felt as a doula a lot of peace around, okay, there's sleep going into this, which is good. So I was actually supposed to leave yesterday, and she had signs even further towards labor starting. And so I sat with it for a little bit, because sometimes when everybody leaves, that's when baby will just come. And to think, okay, do I stay and not to wait for baby, but to be of support for another day? And I'm super excited to see when this little guy comes out, and I'm so excited for them. And so over the week, a lot of it has been helping her. We did body work daily, so helping her just prep her body for labor so that when it does finally start fully, that she's a little more comfortable, giving Julian a few tips on some things he can do with her for body work. But she's so strong, and Knox is gonna be such a good big brother, so I can't wait to get the message that he has finally arrived. Probably my full mom came out when she brought out the little sleep sack that she bought for Banner, and I started crying because sleep sacks just get me.
You just want to show your partner, in this case, like, that I'm close by no matter what, I'm ready. You know, so whatever you're feeling, you know, you could always talk to me about it, as opposed to feel like, because sometimes I feel like women get into this mode, or they can, of like not wanting to tell people what they're feeling, because it's just like, oh yeah, sure, you need to be, but allowing her to have a place to talk to me about everything. So just being here, doing all the work that I need to, just leaving the house just for like essential things like, okay, I gotta go do a grocery run. Okay, let me go check into the office real quick. And luckily our office is super close, but we can do a lot of our work from home. But everything is just like an hour or two away, and I'm so close, and I'm a phone call away. But just being here, present for whatever she needs, because it is uncomfortable for her to walk around and move, you know, upstairs, downstairs. So making sure that she's, you know, has her food ready, she's eating enough, checking in on her for whatever she needs.
I would highly encourage anyone that is pregnant or expecting, really anytime in the next 6 months, to look at resources for doula, check into birth center or home birth if you're comfortable around that, and making sure that you're, you know, comfortable talking about fears, releasing fears, whether it's journaling or talking to a close friend that you trust or whatever. But birth has always been the ultimate surrender, and now we're being called to really, really evaluate our inner strength and what we want birth to feel like and what we want this experience to be. And so I did see someone, you know, Miranda's been posting and everybody has advice for her, which I'm sure is good and challenging all at once. And someone said, planning something to look forward to each day. You can still certainly do that without having to leave the house. It's just a little bit different. But, you know, being open with your community too on, do you want to be contacted? Do you not want to be contacted? Maybe there's an in-between person that can mediate how many people are asking you if you're still pregnant. But definitely doulas, wherever you are, doulas are an amazing resource for other resources within the area. So don't hesitate to reach out and get in contact with a doula, even if it looks like virtual support or just prenatal support or just postpartum support. It can be a game changer. So home birth is it's a very good option. It's a very safe option, and it's been used forever since humans have been birthing. And so there's a lot of misconception that if you're doing a home birth, there's risk or danger or what if something goes wrong, and a lot of that comes with the fear of birth, which we learn as humans. No other mammals fear birth. So when you start to look at birthing in an environment where you feel most safe, unobserved, and supported, it becomes really peaceful. Then when you learn that when you have a trained midwife present, which I recommend, they're trained in emergency, they come ready, prepared in case of an emergency. And so it isn't like you're at a higher risk because you're having your baby at home. And actually a lot of research shows that midwives and home birth support have a decreased risk of adverse outcomes. So I always think that more information is empowering, education is empowering. So if you're finding yourself judging things or thinking like you have fear around this, I would say that that's a call to dig in a little deeper to it to see the why behind it. And then from there you can decide whether it's for you or whether it isn't. But to just only be open to hospital birth, only be open to home or birth center birth, you could be missing out on a huge piece of this experience.
I was telling Molly, it's not just like the past couple of weeks, it's like it took me so long to get pregnant, and I had the miscarriage, and I changed like so much to get pregnant, and now I can't wait any longer to see that he's okay. Like, it's taken so long to get him.
This week's been really, really challenging, physically and mentally. I've had an hour to 2 hours of contractions pretty much every night, which I guess is called prodromal labor. I've had 3 membrane sweeps. I've walked an average of between 4 and 6 miles a day. I've tried working out, I've tried not working out. Erica had to leave, so I still have a doula. I have a doula here, but I feel that support system missing already. She left yesterday. I feel, honestly, like the only purpose that I have on this planet is to have this baby, and that I'm a failure. I'm not working. I could do work stuff, but I'm so emotionally exhausted and preoccupied that it's really hard for me to concentrate. It's hard for me to take care of Knox because I'm so physically limited and he's so active that I can't really, I mean, I can be alone with him, but I couldn't like do a good job and give him what he deserves. There have been 3 times where I've been 95% certain that labor was starting this week, and then it just went away. So yeah. I'm sick of wearing Julian's clothes. I'm sick of looking freaking ragged all the time, and with the coronavirus stuff, I can't go get my nails done or my hair done or do something that would make me feel a little bit better normally. I've seen and hung out with no one other than, I mean, I see my midwives, I saw Erica, I see Julian and Knox. I see some of our staff sometimes when they come over to film, but I have been nowhere other than my home, the chiropractor's office, and the midwife's office for 6 weeks. And it's just, there have been a lot of positives. Like, I've had a lot of positive moments. I feel in a much better place mentally than I was before I gave birth to Knox. Like, I'm excited to meet him, I'm excited to see him, I'm excited for all of it. I feel much more prepared for the birth process and everything. I think that all of that, the positives actually are making it harder because I feel ready. Like, I feel like I'm being held back from this beautiful experience that I'm ready for, and that I want to share with Julian, and that I want to share with Knox. Poor little Knox has been waiting for weeks and is still waiting and asks about it every day, and Julian has made comments like, okay, I'm ready to hold him, and I just feel like I'm letting them down.
throughout the whole pregnancy, I've been very calm and just kind of like, you know, it's not the journey that we go through really as far as physically, but I have found myself getting a little anxious. Like you get this high of like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna beat my son, and then it falls off. And you're like, oh man, you know, and it's not something you really want to put on your wife, because I mean, what they're going through is like so much worse, right? Because of course, like, hey, like they're ready, you know, but for me, I have noticed that like I'm ready to hold my son, you know, and I can't wait to meet him, and I find myself like just getting a little anxious about that, but it's normal. I feel like it's normal. So that's kind of what I felt this time around, with all like the moments of feeling like, oh, okay, this is it, and then the fall off, and then this is it, and then the fall off, you know. But yeah, it's time. It's time. But you know, too, one of the things, just being in tune, that all this is just part of the process. You know, he's healthy, she's healthy. You know, of course, like we'll look back and talk about this and be like, remember when we were with this, you know, he's being stubborn, he don't want to come out. But everything that her body's been going through, literally, you can tell has been prepping her. So who knows? Will it be a shorter labor this time around? Maybe. You know, or maybe, I'm curious to see the outcome, because you can't predict anything. But, you know, who knows? You know, he's going to come out when he's ready.